Hey there, it's Chanel, and I'm at the Boston Children's Museum to give you a tour of my exhibition, Warm and Fuzzy Feels. This body of work was my tribute and celebration of multicultural friendships between women. I'm really excited, as you can see by my dance moves, to show you around. Let's start off with a wide view of the gallery. There's a special aura of tenderness, care, joy, and love that's generated by friendship between women. While differences make us special, there are some communities where it's uncommon to befriend people from different cultures. From childhood into adulthood, I've had many multicultural friendships with women that have given me a sensation I can only describe as warm and fuzzy feels. As a mixed media artist, I've always been intrigued by juxtaposing different kinds of materials together to make my artwork. Warm and Fuzzy Feels is no different. This time, I've decided to mesh together portraiture, abstraction, and actual words and phrases from the women that I've depicted in the exhibition. This space of 400 square feet is filled with the portraits of 14 different women that I was able to photograph and interview in order to create this artwork. Let's take a closer look, starting with Sheila and Anda. When I interviewed and photographed them in my studio, they both confirmed that their friendship is filled with a lot of hugs, so it seemed like the best way to depict them for the portrait. When I asked about a word to describe their friendship, they both replied with nurturing. Here's a closer look at Anda's quote that's included in the portrait. Next up, we've got a fabulous foursome, Tamika, Jeannie, Nadia, and Linda. Photographing and interviewing them definitely came with an even mix of smiles and substance. While they were photographed as a foursome, I actually broke them up into pairs to fill the space. On the right side, we have Nadia and Linda, who described their friendship as enriching. Here's a closer look at the quote from Nadia that I included in the space beside their portrait. On the left side, we've got Tamika and Jeannie, whose friendship makes them feel included. Also, here's the quote from Jeannie that I used in the space. Comparing the photographs to the artworks, one of the things that I love is the subtlety and nuance in all of their facial expressions and their body language. Next up, we've got Tiffany and Dahlene. While I wasn't able to photograph them together, the good news is Tiffany is a great actress. And I had some images of Dahlene from past girls' trips that we've been on, so I was able to use that as reference. Another thing about being an artist is that you have the creative license to make some changes in color here and there. Dahlene's hair was actually pink at the time that I made this portrait of her. When asked about their friendship, the words that came up were balanced and complete, which felt like such complimentary thoughts, even though they were interviewed at a distance. With that said, here's Dahlene's quote that I used in the artwork. Next up, we've got Aldora, Monira, and Candace. One of the great things about photographing these ladies in the park is that natural light just helps the melanin glow. I mean, look at how beautiful their brown skin is. Wow. Glad I was able to capture it. The words that came up when they were reflecting on their friendship were grateful and appreciated. Here's a closer look at the full quote from Aldora that I used part of in the artwork. last group of portraits, we have Ariel, Maria, and Christella. In addition to being in admiration of this trio's love for journalism, while I was photographing them, I couldn't help but notice how intently they listen to each other. It's clear that they operate from such a place of respect for one another. Here's a closer look at the quote from Maria that I used beside their portrait. It's time to spin right into the compositional details of this work now that we've met all the wonderful women depicted. In addition to my moving and grooving, the ways that I wanted to make this space feel celebratory was really through evoking a sense of movement and good vibrations. So literally all of the yellow marks that are surrounding the portraits are those good vibrations. There's also some hints of red confetti type shapes that are the patterns in the background. And I also made a point to just have actual warm and fuzzy materials like orange shag carpet and blue felt circles as a part of the trim around the top of the exhibition. With all that's going on in our world today, it's important that we embrace people who are different and make space for joyful connections and an occasional electric slide.